why do we need to cross the dexterity threshold? It's not adding anything, except for potential loss of limbs or whatever. I don't know.
What's the temperature today? Did you look it up? Do we know?
Yeah, it's like 15 degrees. 14 point.
14 points. That's cold. That is cold.
Yeah.
Alright, so today we're going to do a little cold water challenge. We are here on the beach. The water is about 15 degrees. And basically, at this temperature, it takes something like 20 minutes before you start like losing dexterity in your fingers. It takes about an hour before you can start passing out from exhaustion. So we reckon we're gonna do 25 minutes in this water. So this is basically a cold exposure challenge. It gets unpleasant after about 12 seconds.
Is it cold?
It's okay like up till the ankles. So then once you get past the ankles, it's cold, yeah.
One of the reasons I'm interested in doing this is because of this idea of training that part of your brain where you overcome the resistance, right? You get in the water, all you want to do, because it's cold, all you want to do is you want to get out. And so you're training that part of your brain that suppresses the impulse to get out, which is the same part of your brain you use to overcome something like, you know, oh, I'm reaching for the donut, but I know I shouldn't eat it. It's the same thing that you do when I'm sitting and doing work. Part of me just wants to whip out the phone, go on YouTube or something like that. That no-go part of the brain is what you're training here. That's why I'm interested in doing this.
Can I say something though?
Yeah.
Why can't we just do 15, 20 minutes? It's gonna be hard enough. No, but we have to go past the dexterity point, so I can't move.
Well, we were already splitting the difference.
Because we're badass. We're cooler than that.
Because like the original challenge was going to be an hour.
Says who?
Me. That's the original design. I'm just saying. So like
What do you mean you had circled on the sheet 20 minutes?
That wasn't
so you're
the
lying.
sheet. Wasn't this?
As you can see, Ryan is really on board with this challenge. He's like, yes, let's do it.
Can we just do it already? Like...
Look, shared adversity is a bonding experience. We're here to bond.
Okay, fine.
25
fine,
or die.
We're gonna bond. Okay, let's bond. So who among us, who is gonna have the hardest time with this? Have you done a cold shower or anything in a while? No?
It's been a long time.
Me too. Yeah, I haven't done any cold showers, no ice baths. This is gonna be very uncomfortable.
We are mere shadows of our former selves, but listen, 25 minutes in, you know, some of that manliness will have returned, hopefully. You know?
Okay, keys to this challenge. 1, don't move. The more you move, the colder you get. You want to stay completely still. 2, don't tense your muscles. You don't want to tense up. You want to stay completely relaxed the whole time. 3, controlled, relaxed breathing. 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out. Don't want to hyperventilate. 4, don't be a bitch.
Yeah, that one's important. All right, let's do it.
Ready? Yeah. 3, 2, 1, go. See, it's the breathing, like you immediately...
Yeah, relax into the cold, it's all good. The good news is we only have 23.5 minutes to go.
That was a minute and a half already? Oh, this is easy.
The question is, who's going to start shaking the first? Because
You're already shaking.
I'm not shaking.
Yeah, you are.
Man, I told you I was shaking, bro.
The first challenge is to overcome the resistance to the cold water. It is kind of weird to be looking at like these palm trees, the blue sky, and to be freezing your balls up at the same time.
Yeah, don't be deceived. This is not warm.
I mean, it's just generally not comfortable, right?
Actually, the first like 10 seconds is the worst. Now it's actually kind of okay.
You're already getting used to it?
Yeah, I'm actually okay. The first 10 seconds was terrible.
As you get in, your body tends to tense up. You maybe find yourself holding your breath. And that's the first thing to overcome, to try and settle into the cold water and return to a normal pace of breathing.
Oh, fuck. I'm thinking.
21 minutes to go. It's like your body's running out of energy as you're sitting, as you're exposed to the cold, right? We realized that the challenge here was not just about enduring the cold. We were here to also endure the elements. The waves were tossing us about quite a lot more than we expected. There were rocks to either side and behind us, so we're trying to stay submerged in the water while waves are lapping at you.
Overall unpleasant. It's like you're being bullied around by the waves. The sand is like pretty rough, scraping up your knees. And it's like, okay, this is what we're going to spend the next 20 minutes.
So you're saying it's going to get worse?
Try to keep your shoulders under. Yeah, it's going to get worse for sure.
My shoulders are under, look.
I was reaching out and holding on to the rocks next to me to try and anchor myself in place. And at the same time, my knees and toes were getting scraped up from the rough sand underneath. This was an unpleasant experience in more than one dimension.
You're doing splits? Which way? Okay, I'm doing foot forward and backward.
You gotta stay down, like
Sure,
half
yeah,
the
yeah,
time,
yeah.
half your chest gets exposed when the waves. What time we got?
18
Oh, this
minutes
is a
left.
walk in the park, man.
That's 18-minute you talking.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, no. I'm curious to see what happens. Okay.
Tim, Ryan, and I seem to have different experiences in terms of how cold we actually felt.
This is what's happening. I think we're 17 minutes in. A lot better.
Oh, we have
16 minutes left. That's what I meant. And it's honestly a lot better than I thought. I was pretty nervous because I thought it was going to really suck. The first 30 seconds was really uncomfortable, and then after that, I'm kind of fine. How are you feeling?
I mean, I'm cold.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I'm cold.
I'm not cold. I was legitimately jittering and shaking at the start, but now I feel warm almost. It's very strange. Oh, rock, Tim, rock.
If you decide to do something like this yourself, take note that your subjective feeling of how cold you are might not be that reliable as an indicator of whether you're safe or not.
I think this challenge is starting to work for me. I can feel my body temperature shifting a little bit. Shane, how are you doing?
I'm cold as fuck, man.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
After a while, it's almost like you become numb to the cold. You might even experience the sensation turning from cold to warm without the water temperature changing.
This video is way harder. It's actually full on freezing on your skin.
There comes a point where spending long enough time in here is just as challenging or more challenging than an ice bath.
I guess, but what's that point?
Like, I'm getting pretty properly cold. Yeah, man. I mean, I'm shivering. And I'm definitely, like, you know, you're saying like after 20 minutes you lose your dexterity in your fingers. I definitely have less dexterity in my fingers right now, man. Yeah. Just back it up a little bit, or no? Here comes a good one.
Towards the end of this, I could have stayed in the water longer if it were just the cold. But with the sand scraping at me, my toes going numb, trying to grab onto the rocks, I was really happy to finally get out.
All right, final minute. Woo. Final minute. Oh yeah! My toes are completely numb. I can't feel my toes at all right now.
So there's one problem here, which is that what we just did is just not as epic as it should be for a YouTube video, right? There's no chunks of ice floating in the water. There's no glacier in the background. There's no Wim Hof shouting at us. And all of this would make for a more interesting YouTube video. Extreme cold water challenges are maybe more fun to watch, but they're not that practical, are they? And what we did here was more about cold water exposure and doing something together as a team. We've made it. So it was like, okay, it definitely wasn't like, oh my God, I can't believe I survived this.
But this whole thing was an experiment, like arm in arm in this water for this length of time to see like what we're capable of.
Even though this didn't look extreme, the water that comes out of your shower head is probably not as cold as the water we were in. So anyone who has ever told you that taking a cold shower is a good thing, well, taking a cold plunge like this is a lot more of that good thing. Plus, you may know from one of our previous videos that I'm a bit of a cold shower skeptic, because yes, cold exposure comes with loads of benefits, including reducing inflammation. the browning of body fat, which yes is a good thing, and possibly it even has some anti-aging effects. So that's all good. But usually the studies that show these effects are done with cold water exposure. And spending 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 25 minutes actually submerged in cold water is a completely different deal from just taking a quick cold shower. And we definitely got all of the cold exposure effects and then some. And this is good news, because it means that if you want to get the same, you don't have to go find some body of water that's next to a glacier inside a snowstorm in order to get those benefits. If you live anywhere near a body of water that's anything around, 15, 16 degrees Celsius or lower, that is good enough. And as for this experiment, it was a fun thing to do, and especially because we weren't doing it alone. So if you do live anywhere near a body of water like that, get some friends together, go take a plunge together. It's a good time. To make sure that you stay safe, use a hypothermia table to determine how long you can stay in the water safely, and pick a time that gives you the desired effect without going anywhere near the danger zone. That's what we did, and we'll link below to a place where you can get such a table. You can see how long can you stay in depending on the water temperature. So this was one of many more experiments to come, where we're trying to figure out what we can do to become a better team, to become stronger individuals, to level up our skills, become more productive, become healthier, and generally become better human beings. Make sure to subscribe to make sure you don't miss out on the coming videos.
We've done the thing, and now we're done. Peace out.
Words of wisdom. We left the office, we did a thing. How many people leave the office and do a thing? Most people stay in the office and don't do a thing.
We aspire to be the kind of people who do the thing.
Yeah. We'll see you during our next thing. Peace.
Peace.